All right. So, how long did you go to school to be a chef?
The program was a cordon bleu chic program. It was about maybe a year and a half, maybe. I don't remember. It wasn't a long program at all. It wasn't one of those year programs. It was literally probably like maybe a year long.
Okay. And so, the average chef, So if I was to go to school to be a chef, right? I did my year. How much money will I make in the first year? Then how much yearly does the most? The average chef make?
So how it works is you don't just like go to school and then you go apply for a chef job. That ain't gonna happen unless your parents buy you a restaurant. You have to start as a cook. Some places make you start as a prep cook. Some places might even make you prep cook / dishwasher because there's no way you're gonna leap jump those guys on the line cooking the food to management. Impossible. And if you do, you are juiced from the get-go. And most people will tell you right now, first thing a chef tells you when you're in an interview, you went to culinary school, that's great. But what did you do at your last job? What stations did you work? No one cares about culinary school because culinary school gives you ideas, but the actual practical of working in a restaurant comes from working in a restaurant. So you'll see like a lot of people who do go to culinary school, they'll jump and say, I'm gonna do catering, and then but never really understand the things that go into all those different aspects of this business. So yeah, it sounds like easy though because I don't want to work, but it depends on how you want your career to go. If you're like myself, I'm a restaurant person. I'm not a caterer, but I respect what they do. But even the people who work in catering have to be a cook for that catering company before they can just jump to I can be a caterer. They need to know how to plan. They need to know how to pack. They need to know how to store, how to do inventory because catering is different. And the same thing with restaurants. Each restaurant has different stations depending on what type of restaurant. The majority of restaurants have 4 stations. That's going to be salad, hot apps, saute, which sometimes can be hot apps, and grill. And if you don't master those 4 stations, you don't go anywhere. And some people get to one of those stations and are like, most guys, there's people who just want to be really good cooks. But if you're saying you want to use the title chef, you have to know how to do everything in a restaurant. Everything. There's nothing you cannot know. Because if you have a cook that can do a salad better than you, you're not going to get their respect. If the grill man can out-temp you, out-cook you, you will have no respect as a manager. You will not have those people respect because in their mind they know they're better than you. So ideally, if you're saying you're a chef, that means you can, like myself, and I don't care how boisterous it sounds. I don't care what restaurant I'm in the world. In the world, you can take from a down regular mom and pop place in India, a fine dining place in London, a pasta place in Italy, a soul food place in Atlanta, a barbecue place in Texas. If I walk in those kitchens, I'm going to be able to get down with those cooks. And they're going to see why I was given that position of chef. No matter where I go in the world. And that's one thing I tell people about this job. I know, I was like, if you learn how to be a cook first, you can get a job anywhere in the world.
Makes sense.
Anywhere in the world. If I did not have a job right now, I'll tell you really quick to go backwards. Pandemic. I get my first CDC job. CDC is chef de cuisine. So they're like kind of like executive chef-ish. Because the executive chef is probably like big time, so he kind of does more stuff. But like you're like the guy who runs the restaurant. Pandemic. I only had the job for a month, so now I don't get no unemployment. I barely had it for a month, bro. Don't get unemployment. I don't get anything. I just get canned. A couple months later, I'm in Myrtle Beach working at Waffle House. And the reason, and I say that because that's my skills. I don't have a job. Waffle House is hiring. I'm gonna go fucking make waffles and smother cover. I call it a day. And people were not only were there, a lot of people who work at those restaurants. They're not trying to cook. That's a job for a lot of those people.
Right.
And to have someone in there. People think it's a joke. They're like, oh. I worked at Waffle House and Harold's Chicken that year. And the only reason I went to Myrtle Beach because someone had a chef job for me, and I was like, I went out there, it didn't work out, and I still stuck out there, so I had to survive.
So it's basically like a profession where, like, once you pretty much get your feet in and stuff, you'll always be able to feed yourself. Like, you'll always have
anytime I want, I can go get, if I need to feed myself, I don't need a chef job. Because with my skill sets, you're going to still pay me the highest amount. My experience, you're not going to pay me, oh, I'm going to give you 18. If I need it, I'll take it. But when you talk to me and see how I move, you're going to give me the highest amount. Because you're like, this is something I want to try to keep around. Not knowing it's just something for me to just stay alive. Right. So like I tell people who work for me all the time, if you learn what I know, I can promise you'll never be broke. Or you'll never go hungry. Because no matter if you are a bum, anywhere, if you need it, listen, I lived in my car and cooked at a restaurant with a salary. Till I found out money up to get a place. So I know, like, this is not like, it's gonna be crazy when I have this final story and when you see the final chapter and they're like, yo, yeah, I get it. When people say, man, I just live in my car, I get it. Even now they're actors or they're famous or successful, but I get it. And so hopefully I had that moment where I'm like, damn, I did live in my car. I did sleep on the beach. I slept in a restaurant when everyone left. Like, I never told people that. I literally went, okay, everybody go home, everybody clean up. Cool, I went in the private dining room, got my stuff under the table, long enough I can hear people come in just in case I can't go. And by the time the breakfast team gets there, I was kind of like on my way to the gym to go work out in the shower. Back in my shift.
I feel it.
So like that was like, so, but knowing but I had a paycheck. I didn't have a place to live. So I could live with one, and I would like to have both at that time, but at least I had one that could get me to the other.
Right.
Instead of sitting here, man, I don't got no place to live, I got no job. No. So I always tell me, if you want to work for me, I can promise you, I'll make sure you have the skill sets to always have a job. Whether you do it, it's up to you.
Yeah, it makes sense. You basically teach a man how to fish.
Pretty much, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So back to what you said earlier about having multiple restaurants and stuff. What are some ways that you initially got enough funding in order to open up where you're at right now?
We did not. I didn't really understand how the credit game and business goes, but my partner, she was able to secure us a loan. We were fortunate for this space to already be pretty much have everything here. Like if we didn't have all the equipment that was here, the tables and stuff like that, we would never done it. That project alone right there would have been $100K. So we were able to get in here with 20, and thanks to community who had the space, they had it, and they were like trying to get someone in here, and we just happen to have the product, we happen to have structure already in place in our minds, and having experience. It wasn't just someone said I can cook, or I'm gonna try to go open a restaurant because everyone thinks I make the best such. No, we came with plans, skill sets, systems in place, or things are just like and it made it easy. But like having stuff here, tables, chairs, we bought decorations, we bought a couple of equipment. The most we spent was our pizza oven, and that was $15,000. And then the rest was so that was a fortunate thing, because not everyone's going to get that opportunity. So, but hopefully as we grow, I can make sure I can create another opportunity for someone else to get off the ground. So I'm always going to be thankful that I was able to have this space and my neighborhood that I grew up in, and I'm able to now get my vision off the ground. Because like, I'm not going to lie to you, I've always had the idea of doing my Aja is my restaurant concept that I had in my head years. I'll tell you, my friends talk about it. Anyone will tell me, I just want to cook whatever I want and whatever at the table. I don't care who show up. I want you to show up. I want the president of so-and-so to show up. And y'all just sitting like, and making myself a common denominator, because why are you here? Because I invited you. And now it's like a whole different table. I call it guess who's coming to dinner. And because I don't know who's going to come. I don't know who's going to take every day. I don't know who's going to pay for the ticket. But ideally, you don't even know who you're going to sit next to. You don't know who you're talking, you're rubbing, you're bumping, like, oh, this guy's a CEO. Like, I had people at dinner, and a good buddy of mine, like, yo, this guy's a tech millionaire. But he looked like he's one of us. He looked like us. He came in swaggy, and I'm like, and it's this guy over here owns 4 restaurants. This person over here, so it's like that's the goal.
Bringing people together.
Yeah, like
sure.
I love it, and I think food automatically brings people together. But to like see that I can bring people together and I can put out my work. That's the goal, and being able to consistently put out different work, different ideas. And again, My buddy, a chef friend of mine, hit me up a couple days ago. I want to do sandwiches. I'm like, cool. Like, I'm not open. I'm not open really in the daytime. If you want to get your seed, pop off, see if something pop off, go ahead. Let's work together. We'll pop it off. We'll get the marketing and help us build it. And if you end up popping off and getting your own, I feel like, damn, I was part of helping you get that off,
Yeah, it also brings more foot traffic too, and awareness to what you got going on. So it helps multiple people.
And a lot of times when we're in these environments as chefs or cooks in other people's restaurants, we all have ideas and we all want to be able to do it, but we know we have the constraints of understanding that this ain't our place.
Yeah.
If I want to get paid on time, I need to do what this motherfucker tell me to do.
Yeah.
So now that I can be in a position where motherfucker want to come and work on a project and pop off, and come on, do you? Let's see how we can make money together. So, and that's pretty much my direction at this point. So, like, this restaurant group is to build partnerships with other people, and it is to. I can't manage 5, 7 different restaurant concepts.
Right.
But if you do sandwiches and you do good sandwiches, and we work together, now when you run that, and that's you. That's your restaurant. I'll just take my cut. I'll make sure you got everything you need. You want to do soul food, whatever over here. Cool, we're gonna make it, package it up, we're gonna make it elevated so it looks different than what they doing over here. Cool, I'll take my cut, but that's your restaurant. So that's why having a restaurant group is better, where we can build partnership and create opportunities for other people. Right now, it's first things first, make sure Little Chicago Pizza becomes a very profitable and successful concept before we can really put our hand on everybody else. But they got to see it. At least everyone can treat it like an incubator, as you say, like a think tank for people, chefs and friends, people want to come work on things.
Right. And so one question I do got that a lot of people might want to know is so initially, just to start off, how much money altogether would it take did it take you in order to open up Little Chicago Pizza?
Because of this situation it's unique only for myself. It's not gonna be
right.
It's not even commonplace. Only because of the situation of having so much stuff already in place here.
So you pretty much got lucky.
I got lucky. I got lucky that my partner had the credit. I didn't have the credit.
Right.
I didn't have the credit. She had the credit. She had had built her credit, and so then now I really know how important credit is.
Yeah, because they do check your personal credit.
We got a personal loan. That wasn't a business loan. You ain't gonna get no business loans from the restaurants. It's unheard of. It's not. They're going to say no every time. Oh, you can get a grant. And when people tell you that, you should probably just walk away from them because that's ignorance.
Yeah.
You can't just go get a grant because even those have stipulations. And again, restaurants is one of those things where the era is so high, no one's making that type of money investment. How are you going to repay me? I'm the bank. How are you repay me? So like people who go into this, a lot of times come out of their own money or have family that want to put the money up and believe it with it and figure out how to support it. So like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a number that sounds low, right? I'm gonna say this number that sounds low, and I can tell you it's not realistic.
Right.
It's not. We started with 30,000. That was loans that we are struggling to figure out how to pay off until we get busy.
So if you were to start from scratch, how much would it be?
$250,000. That's for a small place. That's for
makes sense.
1,500, maybe 1,000 800 to 1,500 square foot place. That's 100. That's 250. That's something small like that.
Okay.
So it's literally like what I said. It's an opportunity that is pretty much unheard of.
So basically, what a lot of people, it's trendy for everybody to want to be their own boss and want to be entrepreneurs, but there's a lot of planning.
I want to speak back to you real quick. You know how trendy it was? Everyone assumed if you got an LLC, you had a business. I'm like, nah. That just gives you the right to start applying to become a business. That says you own the name. Now you can apply. No one else has it. It's not. People literally for a moment, especially during the pandemic, everyone's like, oh, get an LLC. Get an LLC. Did you hear that? And then realize that's just the only way to. So people thought they were really in business.
So for people that are looking into not just starting off restaurants, but just starting off new businesses, period, what are some things that you could, some advice that you can give them so that people don't are a little bit more informed? Because like I said, it is a trend right now.
The best I know is everything. Everything like we just said earlier. Everything sounds good. Be your own boss. Da 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 da. A lot of people have ideas. So like, to be honest, I'm just gonna use what I do for a living. If you are an accountant and you make the best spaghetti in your neighborhood, and everyone's like, "Oh, you should open your own business," but you've never worked in a restaurant, how are you going to succeed against someone who's worked in a restaurant?